They told me my Marine unit died in an IED blast in Afghanistan. But the truth is, we found something that should never have been disturbed. An ancient portal carved into stone beneath 3,000 feet of crushing ocean water, guarded by beings who can read every failure etched into your soul. When I touched that portal as the chosen guardian, I discovered that 17 identical gateways were about to open simultaneously across Earth, and the fate of 2 entire worlds now rests on whether a broken ex-Marine can convince humanity that some doors should never be forced open. But what I saw through that portal in the final moments changed everything I thought I knew about who the real invaders were. But what happens when the military decides to detonate nuclear weapons directly into all 17 portals at once? The warning light screamed red inside our submarine as we dropped 3,000 feet below the Pacific Ocean. I gripped the controls harder than I meant to. My name is Marcus Reeves, and 6 months ago I was a Marine. Today, I pilot deep-sea machines for scientists who pay well and ask few questions. Temperature just dropped 15 degrees in 10 seconds, said Dr. Elena from the seat next to me. She was a marine scientist, the kind who gets excited about finding old rocks. That's not normal, Marcus. My partner Jake's voice crackled through our radio from the ship above. Marcus, you need to see what our computers are showing. The ocean floor down there. It's not supposed to exist. I looked at my sonar screen. Strange shapes glowed green against the black. Perfectly round circles. Too perfect. Too big. Nature doesn't make things that organized. How big are we talking? Elena asked, leaning over my shoulder. 30 feet across. Multiple structures. And they're old. Really, really old. The water outside got darker as we went deeper. Our lights could only reach so far. But then Elena gasped. Marcus, look! Through the thick glass window, carved stone appeared. Not rocks thrown around by ocean currents. Someone had made this. The symbols carved into the stone looked like no language I'd ever seen. They spiraled around a massive circle, like a giant coin buried in the mud. This changes everything we know about human history, Elena whispered. These carvings are older than Egypt. Older than anything. Jake's voice came back, worried now. Guys, I'm losing your signal, some kind of interference down there. I felt something in my chest. Like when you walk into a room and know someone's watching you. The water around our sub started to glow faintly blue. Not from our lights. From somewhere else. The symbols, Elena said, pointing. They're lighting up, Marcus, they're lighting up in sequence. One by one, the carved marks began to shine. Starting from the outer edge, moving inward. Like someone was following a pattern. Activating something. We need to surface, I said. My hands moved to the controls, but I couldn't make myself touch them. Something wanted us to stay. To watch. Just 5 more minutes, Elena begged. This could be the greatest discovery in human history. The final symbol blazed with light. The entire circle glowed now, brighter than our submarine's headlights. And then, a hole opened in the middle. Not breaking the stone. Just opening. Like a doorway made of water and light. That's impossible, Elena breathed. Through the opening, I saw another place. Not underwater. Somewhere else entirely. Cities floated in purple skies. Creatures that looked almost human moved between towers made of crystal. Jake! I called into the radio. Jake, do you copy? Static. Elena grabbed my arm. Marcus, look. A figure emerged from behind the portal. Tall. Too tall. Its arms were too long. Its skin rippled like oil on water. It moved with purpose, touching specific symbols around the portal's edge. That's not human, I said. The creature froze. Then it turned toward our submarine. I couldn't see its face clearly, but I felt like it was looking right at me. Right into me. Words formed in my mind. Not heard. Felt. You carry old pain, soldier. I couldn't breathe. How did it know I was a soldier? How did it know anything about me? This path leads to darkness. Turn away. Elena's machines went crazy. Lights flashed. Numbers scrolled too fast to read. Marcus, the electromagnetic readings are off every chart I've ever seen. The creature placed what might have been hands against our submarine's hull. The metal groaned under pressure that had nothing to do with depth. Your leaders will not listen. They never listen. They take what they want. Pictures flooded my brain. Not my memories. Someone else's. Human soldiers in uniforms I didn't recognize. Opening portals like this one by force. Cities burning. People screaming. Wars that made Afghanistan look like a playground fight. It's showing me things, I told Elena. Wars, invasions, all connected to portals like this one. The creature released our sub and swam back to the portal. As it touched the glowing symbols again, the portal's light grew dimmer. Choose, Marcus James Reeves. It knew my full name. My complete actual name that wasn't on any mission files. Guardian or Destroyer. The choice comes soon. With that, the creature disappeared into the portal. The light faded completely. The symbols went dark. We sat in silence for 30 seconds before Jake's panicked voice burst through the radio. Marcus! Marcus, respond! We've got 3 unidentified submarines surfacing nearby, and they're not showing any flags. The moment we broke the ocean surface, blinding white lights hit our submarine like hammers. Jake's research ship sat surrounded by 3 massive black submarines that looked nothing like military vessels I knew. This is Director Sarah Knox of the Deep Projects Division, a crisp voice announced over all radio channels. Dr. Vasquez and Mr. Reeves, prepare for immediate extraction. Elena's face went white. Deep projects. Marcus, I've heard whispers about them. Military projects so secret they don't officially exist. Armed figures in tactical gear boarded our submarine before I could stop the engine. They moved like special forces, but their equipment was wrong. Too advanced. Weapons that hummed with energy instead of clicking with metal. Director Knox stepped onto our sublast. She was maybe 50, with silver hair and eyes that had seen too much. Dr. Vasquez, hand over all recording devices. Mr. Reeves, you will come with me. The portal, Elena started to say. You have to understand the scientific importance. Knox held up a datapad showing our submarine's camera feed. Perfect footage of everything we'd just seen. Dr. Vasquez, this is the 4th portal we've discovered. The first 3 are now classified at levels above your clearance. My blood went cold. 4th portal. Jakarta, Mediterranean, Mariana Trench, and now this one. Knox gestured for us to follow her. The beings you encountered, we call them Watchers. They guard every portal we've found. Knox led us onto her command ship. The technology inside made NASA look outdated. Screens showed maps with glowing dots scattered across Earth's oceans and continents. 17 confirmed portal sites, Knox continued. Some on land, buried deep. Others like this one, underwater. We've been monitoring them for decades. Elena stared at the map. Decades. How long have you known about this? Since 1953. When we found the first one after a nuclear test in the Pacific went wrong, Knox activated a hologram showing brain scans. Dr. Michael Chen, our neuroscientist, discovered something interesting about the Watchers' communication patterns. The brain scans showed activity in areas I didn't recognize. Too much activity. Like brains working overtime. They only talk to specific people, Knox said, looking directly at me. Combat veterans who've experienced significant trauma. Loss of unit members. Survivor's guilt. They seem drawn to psychological pain. I felt like ice water was running through my veins. What are you saying? I'm saying, Gunnery Sergeant Reeves, that the Watcher spoke to you for a reason. The others at different sites. They've rejected every attempt at communication. Until now. Elena grabbed my arm. Marcus, those brain scans. Look at the dates. Everyone who had contact with the Watchers died within hours. Neural hemorrhaging. Complete brain failure. Knox nodded grimly. Every soldier we've sent to communicate with them has died. Except today. You're still alive, Sergeant. Still functional. That makes you incredibly valuable. Jake's voice came through the intercom. Marcus, they've taken control of our ship. Whatever these people want, I hope you know what you're doing. Knox checked her phone. Her face went from serious to alarmed. Gentlemen, Dr. Vasquez, we have a problem. Beijing's military just attempted forced entry at their portal site. She activated the main screen. Satellite footage showed chaos around what looked like an ancient temple in China. Military vehicles surrounded a glowing pit in the ground. They're using electromagnetic pulse weapons to disrupt the Watcher's defenses, Knox explained. The Chinese government believes they can force the portal open without cooperation. Elena stood up. That's insane. The Watchers are clearly intelligent. They're trying to communicate, not fight. Dr. Vasquez, you're thinking of them as just another species to study. I'm thinking of them as guardians protecting something we might not want to find. The screen showed Chinese soldiers in containment suits approaching the portal. The Watcher there moved frantically around the portal's edge, touching symbols in rapid sequence. What's it doing? I asked. Knox's phone buzzed again. She answered, listened, then went pale. Beijing base. Confirm your last message. A panicked voice spoke in Chinese accented English. Portal breach confirmed. Repeat, we have a portal breach. Unknown entities emerging, requesting immediate backup. The screen filled with static, then screams. Knox turned to me. Sergeant Reeves, I need to know exactly what your Watcher told you. Word for word. Because based on what just happened in Beijing, we may have been approaching this all wrong. Elena's instruments started beeping rapidly. Energy spike, massive electromagnetic interference coming from everywhere, all directions. Through the ship's windows, the water around our portal site began to glow again. But this time, the light was different. Urgent. Angry. Knox grabbed my shoulder. The Watchers at all sites are activating simultaneously. In 30 years of monitoring, they've never done that. What did yours mean by guardian or destroyer, Sergeant? Before I could answer, the ship's alarm screamed. Every screen showed the same message in red letters. Incoming. Unidentified aerial objects. 19 and counting. Jake's voice crackled over the radio one last time. Marcus, look up. Something's coming through the portal. The moment I fire up the thrusters to escape, something impossible happens. The creature doesn't chase us. Instead, it does something that makes my blood freeze. It speaks inside my head without opening its mouth, and its voice sounds like wind through broken glass. You carry death in your heart, soldier. This road leads only to darkness that eats everything. Elena drops her clipboard and stares at me. Marcus, did something just talk to us? I want to lie, but my hands are shaking too hard to hide the truth. Yeah, it's in my head. The creature moves closer to our submarine's metal wall. When it touches the side, I feel every horrible thing I've ever done crash into my mind like a tsunami. Every friend who died because I made the wrong choice. Every sleepless night since Afghanistan. Every bottle I emptied trying to forget. The portal must not be opened, the voice continues. You're kind. They will not stop once they know what waits beyond. But then something else happens. Pictures start flowing through my brain, but they're not my memories. I see armies marching through doorways just like the one beneath us. Cities burning under skies that have 3 moons. Marines, my Marines, falling to weapons that bend light itself into killing tools. Elena's instruments start screaming. The electromagnetic readings are going insane. Marcus, I think it's downloading information directly into your brain. I see more. I see redemption, purpose. A chance to be the guy who saves people instead of the guy who watches them die. The creature shows me a world where I matter again. Guardian or destroyer, it says, and the weight of those words feels heavier than the ocean above us. Choose. The creature swims backward toward the portal. As it touches symbols carved into the stone, the entire structure starts glowing from the inside. Through that growing light, I glimpse another world. Cities that float in the air like clouds. Beings made of pure energy dancing between buildings that look like grown trees instead of built metal. This is incredible, Elena whispers. We're seeing into another dimension. But the creature looks at me one more time. Its face has no eyes that I can see, but somehow I know it's looking straight through me, judging everything I am and everything I could become. Then it disappears into the portal like diving into liquid light. The glow fades. The water around us returns to black. Elena and I sit in silence, both of us breathing hard. We have to go back up, I finally say. We need to tell Jake. That's when the radio crackles to life with Jake's panicked voice from the surface. Marcus, we've got company up here. 3 military submarines just surfaced, and they're not flying any flags I recognize. Elena grabs my arm. How did they know we were here? I look at the portal one more time before starting our ascent. It looks dead now, just carved stone on the ocean floor, but I can still feel something watching us from the other side. They were waiting for us, I realize. Someone wanted us to find this thing. As we rise through the crushing darkness, Elena checks her equipment. All my recordings are intact. The footage, the electromagnetic readings, the sonar maps, everything. Marcus, this proves that intelligent life exists beyond Earth. Elena, what if that thing was right? What if opening these portals brings something we can't handle? She looks at me like I've lost my mind. Are you seriously suggesting we ignore the greatest discovery in human history? I'm suggesting we think about what that creature showed me. Wars, death, entire planets consumed by something that comes through these doorways. The water pressure decreases as we climb. Outside our window, fish swim in normal patterns, unaware that everything humanity believes about the universe just changed. The creature called me Guardian, I tell Elena. Like it was offering me a job. She pulls up the portal footage on her screen. Look at these symbols. They're mathematical, precise. This isn't random alien artwork. It's a machine. A doorway between worlds. A doorway that's been locked for a reason. As we approach the surface, Jake's voice comes through again, clearer now but more worried. Marcus, these aren't regular military subs. No markings, no national flags, and they're equipped with technology I've never seen before. Elena checks our depth gauge. 200 feet from surface. I feel dread settling in my stomach like a stone. Elena, what if we're not the first people to find one of these portals? She stops typing on her computer. What do you mean? Think about it. The military shows up within hours of our discovery. They knew exactly where to find us. Someone's been watching these sites. That's impossible. Our coordinates are based on my original research. I've been tracking these anomalies for... How long, Elena? She goes quiet. 3 years. And in 3 years you never thought to check if anyone else was tracking the same signals? Outside our window, the water gets brighter as we rise. But instead of relief, I feel like we're swimming up towards something worse than the darkness below. Jake's voice crackles through again. Marcus, they're ordering us to surface immediately. They say they're with something called Deep Projects Division. Elena goes pale. I've heard of deep projects. They handle things the government doesn't want the public to know about. I look at her hard. Elena, exactly how much did you know about this portal before we came down here? She won't meet my eyes. Everything's going to change now, Marcus. The world is never going to be the same. As our submarine breaks the surface into blinding sunlight, I realize that the real choice isn't between Guardian and Destroyer. It's between the person I was before I touched that portal and whatever I'm becoming now. The first thing I see when we surface is enough firepower to level a small country, and it's all pointed at us. 3 black submarines surround Jake's research vessel like sharks circling a fishing boat. These aren't normal military subs either. They're sleek, silent, and covered in panels that seem to bend light around them. Dr. Vasquez, Mr. Reeves, a voice calls over our radio, sharp and professional. This is Director Sarah Knox of the Deep Projects Division. Prepare for immediate boarding. Elena grabs my arm, her fingers digging in hard enough to bruise. Marcus, we need to hide the data drives. If they take my research... Too late for that, I interrupt, watching armed figures in black tactical gear drop from aircraft onto our submarine. They've been watching us the whole time. The boarding team works with military precision. Within minutes, they've secured both vessels and transferred Elena and me to the largest submarine. As we walk through corridors that look more like a spaceship than a Navy vessel, I notice something odd about the personnel. They all have the same look in their eyes, like they've seen too much. Director Knox waits for us in a briefing room that screams classified operation. She's maybe 50, silver hair pulled back severely, wearing a uniform I don't recognize. Her handshake is firm, and her eyes are the kind that see everything. Dr. Vasquez, Mr. Reeves, welcome aboard the Leviathan. She gestures for us to sit. I trust your descent was... educational. Elena sits forward aggressively. How did you know we'd found something? Our expedition was strictly private research. Knox activates a wall screen showing our submarine's entire descent, including footage from inside our vessel. Private research funded by a grant from the Maritime Mysteries Foundation, which is a front company for deep projects. Dr. Pointverse.2.0. Vasquez, we've been tracking your work for 3 years, waiting for you to pinpoint the exact location. My stomach drops. You used us as scouts. More than that, Sergeant Reeves. You'll note I'm using your military rank. Knox pulls up a file with my photograph. Gunnery Sergeant Marcus James Reeves. 13th Marine Expeditionary Unit. Unit 2187 was investigating unusual energy readings in Afghanistan when an IED attack killed your entire squad. Elena looks at me in shock. Marcus, you never said. There wasn't an IED, Knox continues. Your unit found an artifact, an ancient portal built into a cave system near Kandahar. The official report lists explosive device casualties, but the truth is, your squad made contact with beings we now call Watchers. The room spins around me. That's impossible. I remember the explosion, the hospital, the discharge papers. Knox slides a photograph across the table. It shows my squad gathered around carved stone that looks exactly like the portal we just found, 3,000 feet underwater. Memory modification is one of our more refined techniques, Sergeant. We needed you functional but separated from classified knowledge. Until now. Elena slams her hand on the table. You experimented on him, modified his memories. We saved his life, Knox corrects coldly. The other members of his unit who survived direct Watcher contact died within hours. Neural hemorrhaging, complete brain death. Sergeant Reeves was different. The Watchers marked him. She activates another screen showing brain scans with strange patterns highlighted in red. Neural pathways that shouldn't exist. Synaptic connections that form geometric patterns matching Watcher mathematics. Dr. Vasquez, your partner isn't just a portal discover, he's a portal key. Elena grabs my hand. Marcus, are you okay? But I'm not okay. Memories are flooding back. Real memories this time. Standing in that cave in Afghanistan while my squad screamed and died around me. A Watcher emerging from light that hurt to look at. Its voice in my head. You will be needed when the barriers fail. The portals, I managed to say. How many are there? Knox's expression darkens. 17 confirmed sites worldwide. Under Antarctic ice, in Amazonian river systems, beneath the Sahara. Each one guarded by Watchers who've never allowed human passage. Never allowed? Elena asks. Then how do you know about other worlds? Because 3 days ago, everything changed. Knox activates a global map showing portal locations. Several are flashing red. Beijing, Moscow, and Cape Town all reported simultaneous Watcher activity. After decades of silence, they're suddenly active, and they're all doing the same thing. Which is preparing for war. The room goes dead silent except for the gentle hum of the submarine systems. Knox lets that sink in before continuing. Dr. Vasquez, your research indicates these portals are transportation devices. You're correct, but you're wrong about their purpose. They're not exploration tools. They're escape routes. Elena stands up abruptly. Escape routes from what? Knox displays satellite imagery of the Beijing portal site. The ancient structure is glowing with the same light I saw underwater, but there are differences. Military equipment surrounds it. Soldiers in hazmat suits work around the edges. The Chinese discovered their portal 6 months ago. Like us, they've been trying to activate it. Yesterday, they succeeded. Dr. Chen, their lead researcher, used a different approach than we've been attempting. She pauses, and I realize she's building up to something terrible. They forced it open. The screen changes to show chaos, buildings cracking apart, military vehicles scattered like toys, and something emerging from the portal that makes my blood freeze. What came through weren't Watchers, Knox continues. We call them Devourers, and Beijing is gone. Elena collapses back into her chair. Gone? The entire city? Evacuated. The portal remains active, and more Devourers emerge every hour. The Chinese government is considering a nuclear option. Knox focuses her attention on me. But here's what's interesting, Sergeant. When Beijing forced their portal open, every Watcher at every portal site globally became active, including yours. They're trying to prevent something, and based on our analysis, they're running out of time. I feel the weight of decision pressing down like deep water. You want me to go back down there? I want you to make contact, real contact. The Watchers respond to specific psychological profiles, trauma survivors, specifically combat trauma. But they don't just communicate with anyone. They choose. Elena grabs my arm again. Marcus, those brain scans she showed us, every soldier who attempted contact died. Every soldier who was ordered to make contact, Knox corrects. This is about choice, Sergeant. The Watchers respect free will. They punish coercion. Jake's voice comes through the intercom. Director Knox, we're reading massive energy fluctuations from the portal site. You need to see this. Knox activates live sonar feeds from the ocean floor. Our portal is glowing again, brighter than before, and around it, more watchers emerge from somewhere beyond the stone. They're gathering, I realize. 17 portals worldwide, Sergeant. Watchers active at every site. Beijing's portal forced open and spilling devourers into our world. And we have approximately 6 hours before the President authorizes Operation Threshold. Which is simultaneous nuclear detonation at all 17 portal sites. Complete sterilization of every gateway between worlds. Elena looks horrified. You'd destroy the greatest discovery in human history. Knox's smile is grim. Dr. Vasquez, based on Beijing's experience, we're not destroying a discovery. We're preventing an invasion. She turns back to me. But there's another option, Sergeant. You've made contact. The watcher at your site chose you. If you can establish communication, real communication, we might find another solution. I look at Elena, then at Knox, then at the live feed showing more watchers gathering around our portal. Each one radiates power that our instruments can barely measure. What aren't you telling me? I ask. Knox hesitates for the first time since we met. The truth? We think the portals weren't built to keep us out, Sergeant. We think they were built to keep something else in. The submarine shudders slightly, which should be impossible at this depth and with these stabilizers. And we think Beijing just let it loose. The command room on Director Knox's ship feels like standing inside a giant computer. Screens everywhere show maps with red dots scattered across the world. Each dot marks a portal. 17 of them. My stomach drops when I realize the truth. This has been planned for years. Sergeant Reeves, Knox says, pulling up a chair next to mine. What I'm about to show you will change everything you thought you knew about your military service. She taps a tablet, and my service record appears. But it's different. There are missions listed that I never went on. Locations I've never been to. Unit 2187 wasn't just any Marine unit. You were handpicked. Elena sits across from us, her eyes wide as she reads the classified documents Knox is showing us. This says you've been exposed to portal energy before, Marcus. Multiple times. My hands start shaking. That's impossible. I'd remember. Not necessarily. Knox opens another file. This one has brain scans with my name on them. Dr. Chen's research shows portal exposure causes memory fragmentation. The more exposure, the more your brain blocks out the trauma. But it also makes you compatible. On the main screen, Jake's face appears from the surface vessel. But something's wrong. His skin looks pale, and there are dark circles under his eyes. Marcus, you need to see this. The water around our portal, it's changing color, green to black, and the temperature readings are impossible. Knox speaks into her headset. Have Dr. Chen report to the briefing room immediately. She turns back to me. Your unit wasn't killed in Afghanistan, Marcus. They were transformed. The room spins. What does that mean? Transformed how? Portal Guardians aren't human anymore. There's something between our world and theirs. The Watchers don't just guard the portals, they create the Guardians. Your entire unit is still alive. They're just not here. Elena drops her tablet. You're talking about dimensional displacement. That's theoretical physics impossible with current technology. Dr. Chen enters the room. He's younger than I expected, with nervous energy that fills the space around him. Director Knox, the Beijing portal readings are getting worse. The energy spikes are affecting every portal site worldwide. Show them the video, Doctor. Chen pulls up security footage from what looks like a military base. Soldiers in hazmat suits approach a portal similar to ours. But when they get close, the portal reacts violently. Energy shoots out like lightning. The soldiers scream, but the screams change pitch, become something else entirely. This was Portal Site Echo in Nevada, Chen explains. Attempted forced entry 3 months ago. Watch what happens next. The soldiers who were hit by the energy stand up, but they move differently now. Smoother. Their eyes reflect light in a way human eyes shouldn't. When they speak, it's in perfect unison. The threshold requires choice, not force. Understanding, not conquest. My blood runs cold. Those soldiers, they became like the Watchers? Partially, Knox confirms. But the forced transformation drove them insane within hours. They had to be contained in specialized facilities, designed to hold beings that exist partially in other dimensions. Elena stands up abruptly. This is what you want Marcus to volunteer for? To become something that's no longer human? The difference, Chen interrupts, is consent. Willing transformation creates stable guardian entities. Forced transformation creates. He shows us another video. This one is harder to watch. The partially transformed soldiers attack each other with inhuman strength, their movements jerky and wrong. Knox's phone buzzes. She answers it, and her face goes white. Beijing's portal just produced its first successful Guardian candidate. But there's a problem. The main screen switches to a newsfeed from China. A young woman in a lab coat stands in front of cameras, speaking in Mandarin. Subtitles appear. The beings beyond the portal have shown me visions of what's coming. 17 points of entry. A cascade failure, if even one portal opens incorrectly. Who is she? Elena asks. Dr. Li Wei. Knox responds grimly. Nuclear physicist. She went through Beijing's portal 6 hours ago. She came back changed but stable, and she brought information. Chen pulls up new data on his tablet. According to Dr. Li's debriefing, the portal network is connected. Open one wrong, and it affects all the others. The Watchers aren't just guards. They're stabilizers in a system we don't understand. Knox stands up and walks to the window overlooking the dark ocean. Dr. Li also brought warning. The Devourer entities we detected aren't invaders from another dimension. They're what happens when portal energy gets corrupted by forced entry. We created them. The room falls silent, except for the hum of electronics. Finally, Elena speaks. So every time someone forces a portal open, they risk turning their own world's energy into something destructive. Chen finishes. The Beijing incident wasn't an invasion. It was an accident that's still growing. Jake's face appears on screen again, but now I can see something moving in the water behind him. Dark shapes circling the surface vessel. Marcus, whatever you guys are discussing up there, we need answers fast. Something's coming up from the portal. Multiple somethings. Knox barks orders into her headset. All surface vessels. Evasive maneuvers. Deploy underwater flares. Get me a visual on whatever's rising from portal site Alpha. The tactical display shows our portal site from above. Shapes are emerging from the depths around the portal. Not the tall, graceful Watchers, but something else. Smaller, faster, moving in coordinated patterns. Are those... Elena starts to ask. Your unit, Marcus, Knox says quietly. They're coming home. The underwater lights illuminate 5 figures rising from the portal site. I know those faces, even changed as they are. Jackson, Rodriguez, Thompson, Williams and Martinez, my squad. The family I thought I'd lost. They move through the water like they were born to it, not needing air, not struggling against pressure. Their skin has a slight shimmer like oil on water, and their eyes glow with the same soft light I've seen in the Watchers. Marcus. Rodriguez's voice comes through the water, reaching our submarine without radio equipment. It sounds like her, but with strange harmonics underneath. We felt you touch the portal. We felt you choose. Elena grabs my arm. They can communicate through water? That violates every law of physics I know. Physics change when you exist between dimensions. Dr. Chen's voice crackles over the comm. We're seeing energy readings that shouldn't be possible. Jackson drifts closer to our viewport. Up close, I can see the changes more clearly. His skin shows patterns like circuit boards made of light. When he blinks, there's a moment where I can see through him, see the portal's glow beyond. Marcus, listen carefully. Thompson's voice joins Rodriguez's. The Beijing portal, something went wrong there. The forced transformation created an infection in the portal network. What kind of infection? Knox asks over the radio. Williams answers, and her transformed voice carries sadness that's purely human. Every forced portal opening creates shadow entities, copies of the people who were transformed but twisted. They're spreading through the network to other portal sites. On the surface, Jake's panicked voice breaks in. Multiple contacts rising from the water, but these don't look like the others. These look wrong. The main display shows the surface. Dark figures breach the water around Jake's vessel. They move like my transformed squad, but jerky, aggressive. Their eyes burn red instead of gold. When one roars, the sound makes the submarine's hull vibrate. Shadow warriors, Martinez explains, moving with his unit to form a defensive line between the shadow entities and our submarine. Corrupted versions of portal guardians. Beijing created dozens of them. Now they're hunting for more portals to corrupt. Elena watches in horror as the shadow version of Rodriguez attacks the original Rodriguez. The fight moves through water like they're flying, energy blasts lighting up the dark ocean. This is like watching a war between gods. Not gods, Jackson corrects, dodging a shadow, Martinez's attack. Just soldiers doing our job, protecting what matters. Knox's voice cuts through the chaos. All Guardian, compatible personnel report to portal sites immediately. This is not a drill. The shadow infection is spreading faster than we predicted. Dr. Chen pulls up global maps showing all 17 portal sites. Red warnings flash at 7 locations. Beijing, Nevada, Scottish Highlands, Antarctic Station Echo, Amazon Basin Site, Mariana Trench Western Basin, and ours. They're all showing signs of shadow entity emergence. The battle above intensifies. My transformed unit fights with weapons made of pure energy, but the shadow versions seem endlessly aggressive. Every time they destroy one shadow entity, it regenerates within seconds. They can't be killed permanently unless the portals are properly stabilized. Williams calls out, blasting a shadow, Thompson away from our sub. The corruption source has to be cleansed from the Beijing portal itself. Elena looks at readings that make no sense. The energy signatures are reorganizing reality at the quantum level. These shadow entities aren't just mimicking the Guardians. They're becoming them, but backwards, like negative photographs. Knox makes a decision that chills my blood. Operation Cleanse is now active. All nuclear submarines, prepare ICBMs for portal targeting. If we can't control them, we destroy them all. No, Rodriguez and Jackson shout in unison. Destroying the portals won't stop the shadows. It will release them into physical reality permanently. Dr. Chen's readings go crazy. Director Knox. Nuclear detonation will shatter the dimensional barriers. The shadows will pour into our world with nothing to stop them. Jake's terrified voice breaks through. Marcus, the shadow things, they're coming for our ship. And they look exactly like you. Through the portal's glow, I see the truth. A shadow version of myself emerges from the Beijing portal site through the dimensional connection. Its eyes burn with hatred and ambition. Everything I fear about myself made real. The choice isn't just about becoming a guardian. My real squad tells me in unified voices. It's about facing your own shadow. Every guardian must confront the dark version of themselves before the transformation is complete. Knox's face appears on screen, grim and determined. Sergeant Reeves, we're out of time. The shadow infection reaches all 17 sites in 3 hours. You have to choose now. Go through the portal and become a guardian to stop this, or watch the world end. But through the chaos, Elena grabs my hand and asks the question that changes everything. Marcus, what if we're looking at this wrong? What if the shadows aren't trying to destroy us? What if they're trying to come home? My hands shake as I watch 3 watchers work frantically around the portal. They move like surgeons trying to save a dying patient. The water around me feels electric, charged with something that makes my skin crawl. Marcus, the energy readings are going crazy. Elena's voice crackles through my helmet. It's like watching a star being born down there. One watcher turns toward me. Its fascia, what I think is a face ripples, like water disturbed by wind. Suddenly, images flood my brain. Not words. Pictures. Movies playing inside my skull. Beijing's portal torn open like a wound. Creatures pouring through, not graceful like the Watchers, but twisted, hungry things with too many teeth. Soldiers shooting at shadows that eat bullets and spit back acid. Underground tunnels filled with screaming. Your kind forced the door. The Watcher's voice echoes in my mind. Now the Devourers smell both our worlds. The what? I ask out loud, forgetting I'm underwater. Another Watcher glides closer. This one feels different, older, like a general who's fought too many wars. More images crash into me. 17 portals across Earth. Each one a gateway to a different world. Some beautiful, some terrifying, some empty and cold as space itself. We guard the passages, have guarded them for 10,000 of your years. But your leaders grow impatient. Elena's breathing sounds fast and panicked. Marcus, Director Knox is getting reports from other portal sites. Similar energy spikes. They're all activating at once. The Elder Watcher touches the portal's edge. The stone glows brighter, showing me glimpses of another world through the swirling light. Cities that float in clouds. Beings made of pure light-tending gardens between stars. It's beautiful enough to make me cry. This is what Beijing could have had, the Watcher explains. Partnership, knowledge, healing for your dying world. Instead, they chose force. Then why show me, I ask? Why trust me? Because you understand loss and choice. The Devourers respond to fear and anger. The peaceful realms only open to those who choose protection over power. Knox's voice cuts through my radio. Reeves, we're getting massive readings from all sites. Whatever you're seeing down there, we need answers now. The Joint Chiefs are considering extreme measures. What kind of extreme measures? I demand. Nuclear charges. Simultaneous detonation at all portal sites. They think it'll seal them permanently. The Watchers freeze. All three turn toward me, and I feel their horror like ice in my veins. Nuclear fire will not seal the passages, the Elder Watcher says. It will shatter the barriers between all worlds. The Devourers, the Void Walkers, the things that eat reality itself all will pour through at once. Elena gasps. Marcus, my instruments are picking up something else. 7 more signals. Closing fast from the deep ocean. Through the murky water, shapes emerge. Massive things that shouldn't exist. Each one the size of a blue whale, but mechanical. Covered in the same symbols as the portal. Moving with impossible grace through the crushing depths. Our ships, the Watcher explains. Hidden in your deepest trenches for millennia. Waiting. Waiting for what? For this day. For the choice that will decide both worlds' fate. One of the ships settles beside our tiny submarine. Elena screams as mechanical arms reach out, not to crush, but to gently lift our vessel. Through the ship's transparent walls, I see more Watchers. Dozens of them, all watching me. Board our vessel, Marcus Reeves. See what your leaders plan, then choose. Elena grabs my arm. Marcus, don't. We have no idea what they want. But I'm already moving toward the airlock. Something in their mechanical ship hums with power that makes my bones vibrate. As I step through their airlock, the water drains away, but I can still breathe. The air tastes like ozone and starlight. The ship's interior defies physics. Walls curve in impossible directions. Control panels float in mid-air, operated by thoughts rather than hands. The Watchers who crew this vessel move like dancers, each gesture purposeful and beautiful. Come, see your future. They lead me to a chamber where the walls become transparent. Through them, I watch the surface world 3,000 feet above. Knox's fleet surrounds our position, but they look like toys compared to the Watcher ship. More images flood my mind, this time showing me what's happening at the other portal sites. Amazon rainforest. A portal hidden beneath ancient trees, guarded by Watchers who communicate with dolphins. Arctic ice. A portal that connects to a world of living crystal where beings of pure thought solve mathematical problems the size of galaxies. Sahara Desert. A portal to a realm where music has physical form and emotions become living creatures. Each portal unique. Each guardian world different. Your kind seeks to open them all with force. But Beijing fell to fear. Your leaders see the Devourers and think all other worlds must be equally hostile. They do not understand that forced entry summons only the hungry and the angry. A new voice joins US Director Knox, broadcasting on all frequencies. All portal sites report activation, implementing Broken Arrow Protocol in 60 minutes. Repeat, nuclear deployment authorized in 60 minutes. Elena's voice shakes. That's not enough time to evacuate the surrounding areas. The Elder Watcher approaches me. Its touch feels like electricity made gentle. Your leaders believe they protect your world. They do not understand they condemn it. Nuclear fire at the portal sites will crack the barriers between all realities. Every world, beautiful and terrible, will crash together. Then what do you suggest? Choose to become a bridge instead of a wall. Let us show you how. The Watcher extends something that might be a hand. Around me, the ship hums with power that could level mountains or gentle a baby to sleep. Above us, nuclear submarines prepare to fire weapons that will doom both worlds. Elena's voice is barely a whisper. Marcus. The portal's energy signature just changed. It's not trying to open anymore. It's trying to. Choose, Guardian, before choice is taken from us all. 60 minutes until nuclear deployment. The moment I touch the Watcher's hand, reality explodes. Not with pain, but with understanding so pure it burns. I see everything at once, every portal on Earth, every world they connect to, every choice that led to this moment. Through 17 different gateways, I witnessed 17 different civilizations. The healers of Proxima, who cure diseases with music. The builders of Andromeda, who grow cities from living metal. The philosophers of Vega, who've spent 1,000,000 years solving the mathematics of kindness. My God, I whisper. They're all peaceful. The aggressive species destroy themselves long before reaching portal technology, the Elder Watcher explains. Only those who choose cooperation over conquest achieve interdimensional travel. Elena's panicked voice cuts through. Marcus, the Beijing portal just exploded outward. The Devourers are spreading to other sites. Through the ship's impossible walls, I watch feeds from around the globe. The insect-like Devourers tunnel through Earth's crust, following some instinct that draws them toward the other portals. Behind them come worse thing shadows that eat light, creatures made of hungry void. Beijing's forced opening created a crack, the Watcher says. Each Devourer that enters your world widens it. Soon, the barrier between the Devourer realm and yours will shatter completely. Unless 17 people, one at each portal, choose to become living seals, guardian bridges, neither fully human nor fully Watcher, but something new. Knox's voice booms across all channels. Portal sites report Devourer emergence. Moscow, London, Sydney, they're spreading faster than projected, accelerating Broken Arrow protocol. Nuclear deployment in 30 minutes. I think of Jake on the surface, probably scared out of his mind. Of Elena, risking everything for science. Of every Marine who never made it home from Afghanistan. Of every choice that led me to this impossible moment. The transformation is irreversible, the Watcher warns. You will live between worlds, protecting both, belonging fully to neither. Is this a sacrifice you choose freely? What about the others? The other portal sites? The Watcher shows me through its mind's eye. 16 other locations where humans stand before similar choices. A Navy SEAL in the Arctic, a former Peace Corps volunteer in the Amazon, a physicist who lost her daughter to war. Each one haunted by loss, each one strong enough to choose protection over revenge. They wait for your decision. The first Guardian's choice echoes to all others. Lead, and they will follow. Elena's voice cracks. Marcus, whatever you're deciding, decide fast. The Devourers just broke through into the London Underground. I close my eyes and feel the weight of two worlds. In one direction lies Earth broken, beautiful, struggling, mine. In the other, the Guardian world's advanced, peaceful, offering everything humanity has ever dreamed of achieving. But the Watchers aren't asking me to choose between them. They're asking me to choose to protect both. Elena, I say into my radio, record everything. Tell everyone that we weren't alone, and we were never meant to be. I take the Watcher's hand fully. Energy courses through Menno, transforming my body but expanding it. I feel my consciousness stretch across impossible distances. Suddenly, I'm standing at 17 portals simultaneously, connected to 16 other brave souls making the same choice. The change happens instantly. My human form dissolves and reforms, part flesh, part living light, part something beyond both. Through portal after portal, the same transformation occurs. 17 Guardian bridges holding the barriers steady. The Devourers hit the London portal and recoil as if burned. The barrier holds, reinforced by will and sacrifice and choice freely made. Nuclear deployment in 10 minutes. Knox's voice is desperate. All sites report energy stabilization. The Devourer advance has halted, requesting immediate status from all Guardian candidates. I try to speak, but my voice comes out change-layered with harmonics that make glass sing. Director Knox, the portals are sealed. The Guardian protocol is active. Cancel Broken Arrow. Negative, we've lost visual on all Guardian candidates. Confirm your status. Elena answers for me. Director, Marcus is. He's still here, but he's different. They're all different. They're holding something back. Through my expanded awareness, I feel the other Guardians. Sarah in the Arctic, her consciousness stretching between ice and crystal worlds. David in the Amazon, his thoughts flowing between Earth's jungle and alien gardens. We are no longer fully human, but we're still ourselves. The barriers hold, the Elder Watcher confirms, but this is only the beginning. Beginning of what? Elena asks. The Devourers were just the first test. Beyond their realm lie others who will try to breach the portals. The Void Walkers. The Reality Eaters. The things for which your languages have no names. Knox's voice turns cold. Standing down nuclear deployment. But this conversation isn't over. We need answers. We need control. I laugh, and the sound echoes across dimensions. Control was never yours to have, Director. The choice was always protection or destruction. We chose protection. Attention. Guardian stations. Unidentified signals detected beyond the Devourer realm. Elena gasps. Marcus, my readings. There's something else out there. Something massive moving toward the portal network. Through the Guardian network, I sense it too. A presence vast beyond comprehension, neither benevolent nor malevolent, but ancient beyond time. It's been watching, waiting for the portals to stabilize. The Elder Watcher's mental voice carries something I've never heard before, genuine fear. We had hoped your kind would have more time to grow, but the Ancient Ones wake. The choice to become Guardians may have saved your worlds, but it also rang a bell that echoes across all realities. What kind of bell? I demand. The kind that announces when a species is ready for the final test. Elena's instruments go wild. Energy signatures beyond anything we've recorded. It's like watching a galaxy move. Through my expanded senses, I feel something vast approaching the barriers between worlds. Not trying to break through, but studying them, judging them. And beyond it, in the deepest dark between realities, other things begin to stir. Things that make the Devourers look like minnows in an ocean of leviathans. Welcome to the true universe, Guardian, the Watcher says. Your real work begins now.